Hey there, Matt here, and I have my Gibson SG Jeff Tweedy signature model with me. Now, this is the guitar I bought off eBay a couple of weeks ago, and beautiful condition, but setup-wise, this guitar was absolutely awful when it arrived, and I actually feared it probably needed a neck reset actually to fix it up. Very high action, no break angle on the bridge. The Maestro was just sending everything haywire. It was catching on the bridge, it was catching on the nut. Yeah, it was just pretty much unplayable. It was out of tune all over the neck. So yeah, pretty sorry state when it arrived. I took the guitar down to Brenden Mason at Real Guitars in Melbourne, and Brendan's done a lot of work for me over the years on all my guitars actually, and I've always been delighted with the work that Brendan's done. So I had no reason to think otherwise on this one. So Brendan's done a fret dress and a setup on this guitar, and I shot some footage of Brendan working on it and talking about the SG. So over to Brendan.
I mean, there's quite a few things where they haven't succeeded with this. The way the head nut was cut, the machine heads were nearly falling off it. The bigger part of the problem was because of the Vibrola, there was no brake angle over the saddle, and the actual action was higher than what it is now. I've actually worked a fair bit on the guitar already, but the problem was that the angle of the string was non-existent before, and obviously the action was way higher, so dropping the string, it would have been pretty well flatlining it. So with the tailpiece, underneath here is some shims or some washers, which in turn drops the actual spring, which is what we want. And then the other thing is that I've done a slight reshape on this mainstay, which again is helping it to drop down. And probably one of the more important things is the fret dress and restating a bit of neck angle even more in it. And again, in the fret dressing process, I've been able to actually gain a little bit of neck angle or downward angle with the neck angle. And if you know what you're fret dressing, or if you know what you're doing when you're fret dressing, you can really rectify a lot of problems with the overall shape. And providing you've got enough fret profile there to work with. So now all I've got to do now is finish off the setup, give it a lubricate through all the friction points and do the intonation, put the cover back on, and she's ready to rock. So what I'm doing at the moment is visually setting the pickup height, and later on I'll check it through an amp just to see what the balance is like. Finally, the intonation. Yes, I am a fan of SGs. Can be a bit of a temperamental guitar insofar as they do flex quite a lot, and you'll be able to hear and watch on a tuner. There's the guitar with nothing with pressure on it, and just the weight of the guitar every time I see guys that pull on a guitar, they should forget doing that and buy something with a tremolo arm like a Strat or this, because essentially they can do damage to the guitar, and I don't think it's a great idea. The other thing with intonation is not to get too light-handed with it unless you actually realise that the person is a pretty light-handed player. You have to try and at least have some representation of the player's weight when they play, in anticipation of the situations that they play the guitar in. Quite a lot of heavy metal guys are really digging in hard. Some rock and roll players are digging in pretty hard. And then you get jazz players who can be sometimes really quite light, but it is always the individual player that's worth consulting with their actual weight that they put into a guitar. My SG I stupidly sold, and I wish I had have never sold the guitar. And I always planned that one day maybe my SG would come back to me, but it wasn't the case, because I heard many years later that it was smashed because it had been probably the first gig that it did with the new owner, got put outside but while they were packing up, and his cousin or his brother or whoever it was ran over the guitar and crushed it. So it was put up for sale, and unfortunately I couldn't track it down, but I do have a lead which I still have yet to follow up. And one day I might be reunited with the poor old smashed up girl, of which I fixed up plenty of smashed guitars. So there she is, all finished, cleaned up, ready to rock and roll, ready for Matt to rage it up.
Well, I haven't owned a SG before, and actually this is the first SG I've played, and now back from the shop I'm absolutely delighted with it, and I've been playing it non-stop since I've had it and really enjoying getting to know the pickups, the configuration and volume and tone. So I'm looking forward to really enjoying this guitar over quite a few years now, and it's definitely a keeper. I'm going to be doing more stories on guitars if anyone's interested. I've got a YouTube channel if you want to go there and subscribe. Hopefully I can see you again on some more videos, and thanks for watching.